Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really thought-provoking idea from worldwide Quran thinkers. They're looking at what seems like a major disconnect. You see, the Quran promises things like unity and prosperity, but is that really what we see in the world? Let's get into it.
So let's start where they start, with this incredible promise from the Quran. It's about a state of being called na'imat. We're talking success, peace, the whole package. But right after laying that out, the source material asks us to, just look around, to ask ourselves a really honest question. Is that what we're actually seeing out there?
And, well, according to this source, the reality on the ground looks pretty different. They point to all the division between sects, the rise of Islamophobia, and a heavy focus on rituals that, they argue, don't seem to be helping society as a whole. It's a picture of so much wasted potential. A huge, glaring gap between that promise of ni'mat and what's actually happening.
Okay, but here's where their argument takes a really interesting turn. They're not saying the divine promise is broken, not at all. What they're saying is that maybe we're just not on the right path to get there. And this idea, it's the launching point for everything else we're about to explore. The problem isn't the destination, it's the road we've been taking.
So what exactly is this wrong road they're talking about? Well, for them, the whole diagnosis comes down to the difference between two really important concepts, Deen versus Mazhab. And getting this distinction right, they say it's the key to everything. All right, first up, Deen. Now, when they talk about Deen, they're not talking about religion in the way many of us think about it. Based on the Quran, they see Deen as a complete God-given system for all of life. Think of it like a full-on operating system, a code of conduct with laws and rules that are actually in sync with our natural state, what's called Fitrat. And the whole point is to help us reach our absolute fullest potential.
And then, on the flip side, you have Mazhab, and they make a really big point here. You won't find this word in the Quran. They describe Mazhab as a human-made system, a way to express religious beliefs that tends to focus a lot more on rituals, instead of that big picture, complete code for life we just talked about.
And this comparison really lays it all out, doesn't it? It just perfectly captures the core differences they're pointing to. On one side, you've got Deen. Where does it come from? God. What's its scope? A complete way of life. And what's the goal? That na'ima, that state of success and peace. Then you look at Mazhab, the source, man, the scope, often just rituals and religious expression. And the outcome, they argue, wasted potential. It's a pretty stark contrast.
Okay, so if Deen is supposed to be the path, you gotta ask, how did so many people end up on a totally different road? Well, the source material points to what it believes is the absolute root cause of this whole disconnect.
And their whole diagnosis really centers on this one powerful verse from the Quran. The key word to lock onto here is mahjur. In their analysis, this means something that's been abandoned, or restricted, or even migrated away from. They believe this one word really gets to the heart of the problem.
So how did this abandonment happen? Well, they say it wasn't just one thing. It was a process with 3 distinct steps. First, people migrated away from the Quran's laws in their day-to-day lives. It's kind of like moving to a new country. You follow the new laws, but you still hold on to your old identity. Next, its meaning got restricted. It was kind of boxed in, reduced to just recitation or a few popular phrases, while its role as a guide for life was ignored. And finally, its understanding was handed off. It was basically outsourced just to scholars, which created this huge gap between everyday people and the actual text.
So after laying out the problem, what's the solution? How do we get back to Deen? The source proposes what they call a rational approach. And this rational approach has 3 main parts to it. First, using your intellect instead of just blindly following. So basically asking questions and thinking critically instead of just accepting tradition because, well, that's how it's always been done. Second, putting logic ahead of emotion, basing your understanding on facts and reason. And third, and this one is a big one, going straight to the primary source, the Quran itself, instead of relying only on what other people say it means. So what this all really boils down to is a massive shift in your mindset. It's about moving away from what they call vertical thinking. That top-down approach where beliefs are just handed from one generation to the next without any questions asked. Instead, they're advocating for lateral thinking, a hands-on, curious, and really intellectual engagement with the text for yourself.
And when you start thinking that way, it leads to this final, really powerful idea that kind of reframes the whole conversation.
Because in the end, their argument isn't really about whether you call yourself a Muslim, Christian, or Jew, or which sect you belong to. The real question, the core distinction they want you to think about is this: is your life running on a divine framework, or one that's been built by humans?
And that leaves us with a really big question to chew on long after this is over. What's the framework you use to navigate your life? When you think about your values, your rules, your purpose, is it coming from a divine source or a human one? Something to really think about.